Thank you all so much. Yeah, we are so excited. Like we said, we're 13 days out. Both teams from Elephants and Tea and Young Adult Survivors United are working so hard behind the scenes to get all of the final things ready to welcome you all to Pennsylvania. And it's just so fun to see so many familiar names, so many new names. And I think this year's group is going to be a beautiful mix of that. A lot of returning people, but also a lot of new faces. And it's just so special. So I am going to share my screen because we do have a few slides to walk you through that are more kind of general information. And then we'd love to really open it up for the Q&A portion where you can kind of ask any questions that are on your mind. We did see the questions that people input when you registered for the event. I will say that I think most of those have been answered at this point. But if it has not, then we will answer it in these slides, or feel free to ask again, come off mute, and yeah, we'll just go from there. And if you're not comfortable coming off mute, you can always put a question in the chat and we can kind of moderate it from there as well. Sound good? All right, let me share my screen. Can you all see the slides? Cool. This is confusing because I'm also seeing, I just got a new second screen. This is all very new to me. So it doesn't look like you're seeing my slides, but apparently you are. So that's good. So Thursday, August 29th is the day that you will arrive to camp, and we will all get to hang out together until September 1st, Sunday, which is so exciting. This is the third annual cancer camp. I cannot believe that, but it is amazing. In the right hand side there, you'll see the photo of two very special individuals. You'll notice they are missing from this Q&A, but they will be at camp. That's Stephanie Smolovich. She is the executive director and founder of YACC, and Nick Galarakis, who is the executive director and founder of Elephants and Tea. And camp is kind of their brainchild. They wanted to make this happen from day one. And now look at us bringing 100 campers this third year, which is amazing. So it is a collaboration between these two nonprofit organizations, whom I believe most of you are familiar with, but you will get to learn a little bit more about what each of us is all about and what each of us do at camp. We'll each have a table with kind of some resources, and you can always just ask staff members and we'll be happy to share information about other things that we do outside of camp. And the whole point, and I feel like this has been shared in emails and on the website and everything, but the point of Cancer Camp and the reason why it was created in the first place is we really wanted an opportunity for our communities to come together, for you all to meet other people in person who get what you're going through, and to just be able to step away from your everyday life, whatever that looks like, and relax and make it completely whatever you want it to be. We have a lot of really fun activities planned, and there will be kind of a schedule that you can follow, or you can bring 3 books and lay up in a hammock and just read and enjoy the nature sounds and just chill. So kind of, or you can do something in between those 2 options. So really the opportunities are endless, and we want you all to make this whatever you want it to be. And kind of driving home that idea of this weekend is supposed to be a getaway for you. It's supposed to be for mindfulness, for self-care, to reset, to relax, and to not feel alone, to be with others who get it. So we are just so pumped. The fee that you gave to when you registered includes all food. We will have snacks in the lodges, and the meals will happen kind of as a big group. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then linens, which I know just went out on the packing list. Linens and towels are included. So you get a face towel and a body towel and sheets for the bed, and a pillow. That's all included. And then all the activities, everything is included once you arrive. Camp is in Western Pennsylvania. It's in Fombelle. And the Camp Conoqui Spencer, it's a YMCA camp site. They do have a website that you can go to, and there are kind of additional photos and everything there. You'll see if you've been there before, we do not utilize all of the cabins that are on the site. But you do have access to kind of walk around the whole site when you're there. So it's kind of fun to explore and see everything. It's just so, so beautiful. And I think someone mentioned this in Discord. I forget if it was you, Cody, or someone, but like the stars, there's a huge open field and it's so quiet and you can really see the stars. So for those of you who live in a city or somewhere where you're not really used to that, it's pretty amazing. So checking in will happen on Thursday. We say that the check-in times are between 2 and 4. So depending on if you're flying or driving, obviously that may look a little different. I know some people have already reached out saying, my flight lands at this time. I'm definitely going to be coming a little late. That's fine. Just let us know. So if you have not let us know that, we like to make note on our registration because you are like our 100 chickadees this weekend and we need to keep count of you. We need to make sure you're all accounted for and safe. So if you are arriving much later, we can package a dinner up for you if you think you're going to be past dinner time. So all of those things, please just don't hesitate to reach out to one of us so that we can make note of that and be prepared for that. But when you arrive, we will all be there and we'll check you in. And that is when we will tell you what cabin you're in and you can kind of go and get settled and unpacked. And then we will have our first meal together at dinner at 5:30 that afternoon. And then we kind of do like an opening announcements where we kind of run through a few of the major topics and things of how camp will run to answer any questions you all have. And then we have a fun kind of social activity that we're going to do all together to kind of jump into getting to know each other a little bit. And then we love a good campfire. We will have s'mores and it will be an awesome way to kind of kick off the whole weekend. So again, if you are coming late, please let us know. There is going to be another email going out to you all with some like last minute reminders. And internal staff just has not discussed whose phone number we're going to give, but the information will be there in that email in case you do need to contact us. But we will be checking email, but just know that obviously we're going to be busy doing our thing because campers will already be arriving. So we'll give a phone number as well. Food. Meal times are at set times. So 8:30 for breakfast, 12:30 for lunch, 5:30 for dinner. We will have snack stations in each of the cabins that you'll be located in. If you want to bring your own snacks, you absolutely can. No problem there as long as it's nut free. That's a huge rule. We do have some pretty serious allergies and the camp is nut free. So we need to follow the YMCA camp rules. So definitely you can bring your own snacks. If you'd like to bring a refillable water bottle, you can do that as well. There will be a swag bag that may or may not also have one in it, but if you have like a comfort water bottle and you like to bring your own, please do. There are stations around the campsite that are outside that you can fill your bottles in, which is pretty cool. All food allergies and accommodations will be accommodated. That is why we ask those questions in the registration. Staff works really hard to organize all of that, have it with us, make sure the camp knows, communicate with the camp. And again, this is year 3, so they know us really well and we know the camp really well. They're amazing at providing safe food for people that have allergies and accommodations. So hopefully if you do have them, you did let us know. If you have not yet, definitely email us because we will need to communicate with the camp prior to arriving. And again, nut free. I'm just gonna keep saying it. Camp is nut free. That was it. Why are those two slides the same? Interesting. Okay, I'm done. Lindsay, you're up.
Sounds good. Just for those of you who are new and those returning, the camp is very ADA accessible. We have fully committed to making everything as accessible to those as possible. We will have trams and cars going around camp to take everyone to the different activities, to the dining hall, back to your cabins if you need to go back and take a rest. We'll have the walkie-talkies again if you were there last year so that you can just call our drivers. And they'll just kind of be making loops. So if you see them, we'll have our same drivers as last year. So just holler out and we'll get you where you need to go. Um, and the camp will also be able to assist those in wheelchairs and crutches doing those activities as well. So whether that be canoeing, archery, if you need any assistance there, getting in and out of the pool, things like that, we'll be able to assist you for everything that you need. We'll also have the wheelchair accessible showers with some shower chairs if you need those as well. Just please make sure that you do reach out to us. That way we make sure we have the specific number we need and in the cabins that we do require them. If you did put that you needed a bottom bunk for a particular medical reason, in your registration, we have made those accommodations when we did the bunking. So just make sure that you do get the bottom bunk that you need. I don't think anyone has said anything about service animals, but they are permitted on the premises as long as we have the documentation ahead of time. So if you have a service animal, just make sure you reach to us ahead of camp. Again, I don't think anyone has reached out to us as of yet. But just know that if you do have one, just to make sure that you get contact with us, please. We do have a medical center on site. We will have a trauma nurse and an internal medicine doctor on our team this year. So they'll be there 24/7. So, and we'll actually, they'll be on a walkie-talkie as well. And we will pass out their contact information for just their cell phone when you get to camp. So if you have anything or need an emergency, please contact one of us. They'll also be going around to the different activities, just as a presence to make sure. So they'll have any sort of kind of emergency equipment that we may need, or medicine if you don't have any. But you are responsible for taking all of your own medication. So anything that you take on a normal daily basis, you are completely responsible for that, for bringing it, for making sure that it's kept safe, and for taking it at those appropriate times. It's just if you need any additional questions or additional medication, please reach out to us, and we will have those that staff as well. We'll introduce them the first night at camp. That way you can keep an eye on them. If you've been to camp before, the hot dog may be returning, so that is our medical staff if you had any sort of questions about who that would be. So so what does a day at camp look like? So again, breakfast will be from 8:30 to 9:30. That is standard. So if you like to sleep in, that's perfectly fine. But the breakfast does end at 9:30. So make sure you get a snack or something like that that may be in the cabin. Then from 10 to 12:30, we'll have activities. So those we'll have some physical and non-physical activities. There'll be just a couple things going on at one time. Take a break for lunch. Again, these are set times from 12:30 to 1:30. Then we'll have activities again from 2 to 4:30 in the afternoon. And then dinner at 5:30 to 5:30 to 6:30. And then after that, every night we'll have a campfire and some other fun activities that will take place in the evenings for us to all do as a group and kind of come together. I don't want to give any surprises out, but there are some exciting things coming, some new stuff and some stuff from last year as well. But as far as the activities are concerned, we didn't want to put the details on here, but if you go to the camp website, you can actually view all of our activities and the descriptions of them. So be sure to check that out so you kind of have an idea of what all of our activities are going to entail, as well as how physical they may be. So you can kind of gauge what you'd like to participate in. We will have sign-up sheets for those activities, but we're not going to release them until everyone gets to camp. So everyone has the same opportunity to sign up. That being said, just because we have a sign up does not mean that there's like cap for how many people can participate in an activity. There's no max. So just just continue to sign up. It's more of a gauge for us just to see where we need to have staff and volunteers, depending on how popular an activity is. Just so that we kind of have an idea. But like I said, there's no cap, so just continue to write your names. If you want to participate in an activity, even if you're like, oh, I forgot to sign up, but now I have time and I want to go check out archery, please feel free to go do that. We don't want anyone to miss out on any opportunities to participate in anything. The only ones that are like more set time start with the times would be like our artistic activities that we have. We have some craft things that are going to have like a set start time, just so that we can make sure that the projects are completed within that time frame. So make sure you get to those ones on time, but the rest of them are a little bit more kind of come and go free willy, which is great. Again, take naps if you need a nap in the afternoon. If you want to sleep in, absolutely kind of do whatever you need to do. Or just live in Hammock City if that's also what you'd like to do, not a problem, or take 17 hikes a day. You can participate in as many or as few activities as you'd like to participate. So, okay. So last day of camp. So on that Sunday, what we'll do is we'll wake up and we will have breakfast. Again, from 8:30 to 9:30. Everyone has a chance to pack. Just get everyone's numbers, have final goodbyes, take pictures. We'll have a last little kind of morning meeting where we say our goodbyes to everyone. And then we will be providing transportation to the Pittsburgh airport at one time. So we will have a shuttle bus that will leave from camp at 10:30 and go directly to the Pittsburgh airport. So if you've made flights or anything like that, make sure try to we'll take you there after 10:30 or at 10:30. If it's before then, you will have to kind of take care of that transportation on your own. So, and feel free to reach out to us as well if you have something very early and we can see if we can assist in that. We may have a volunteer going to camp anyway. So if your flight is before 10:30 and you need assistance, please reach out to us. Do not rely on being able to call a rideshare to camp because it is very far from anything and they are most likely not going to come. So unless you've something kind of ordered or if you've rented a car, it will be very, very difficult to get rideshare from camp back to the airport. So please reach out to us. We want to make sure that no one misses their flights. And we can get everyone back to their homes as easily as possible. It is about 45 minutes to an hour on the bus from camp to the airport, just for those reference. So probably get to the airport around by 11:30. And then you can kind of hang out at the airport. I know a couple people last year went and just had lunch and hung out at the airport with all of their camp friends, which is nice to kind of extend camp a little bit. But again, please reach out to us if your flight is before 10:30, and we'll try to assist you in that.
I will also say, Lindsay, that if you are not already on Discord, which a lot of you are, there have been some incredible connections already being made there in terms of travel. So I believe there are a few people who do have flights early on Sunday who have already said, oh, I rented a car. I can bring this many people if your flight is earlier, and they're all set. So definitely recommend logging into Discord if you're needing specific travel plans, because that's also the case on the Thursday. We have a lot of people that are kind of ride sharing together, meeting up because they land at similar times so that they can head to the campsite together. So just want to throw that out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Some last minute things to look out for. We did email the packing list on Wednesday. So you should have all of those details as far as what we suggest to bring to camp, what you definitely need to bring to camp. Take a look at that. The camp waiver would have been in your confirmation email when you registered for camp. That does need to be signed before you arrive to camp. So please make sure you complete that so that we have everything on there. And then so we'll send out some more emails coming up next week and the next week, the week after. I can't believe that camp is that quickly. So just keep a lookout. Again, we'll send some information as far as for those arriving late with phone numbers to reach out to us if anything changes. But just please keep an eye out on that. And if you have any questions about the packing list, of course, feel free to email us if you have any or put them in the chat as far as that's concerned as well.
I will also be including that waiver link in the last minute reminder email. So if you're kind of panicking and saying, I'm not sure if I signed it or I don't know where that email is, I'll send that link out again. So don't worry.
Perfect. Does anyone have any questions that we did not answer in the deck?
It does look like some questions were happening in the chat, but I think most of them have been answered, which is awesome.
I have a question.
Yeah, Carrie.
What type of food is going to be served? Because I'm a huge foodie and I'm always thinking about what my next meal is. So can you give us some ideas about what might be served?
Yeah, of course. So we are not the YMCA camp is the one who's in charge of the food. So we have like zero input in that. The only part that we are in charge of is making sure that they are aware of like all of the allergies and accommodations we have. I want to say that it's camp. Like we're at camp. So you're not going to a 5-star restaurant. Like you're not coming here for the food. You're not gonna go home raving about it, most likely. I mean, it's your typical, like there were burgers one night and veggie burgers for those who don't eat meat. There's always a packed salad bar, which actually I'm pretty impressed with at lunch and dinner. What other there was like a Mexican night one night, and yes, it is all buffet, so you can kind of pick and choose what you want to consume. Burgers, Mexican night. What was another one of the like popular nights? I don't know if any other staff members or people want to put in the chat, but typical like things that are easy for large groups and easy to accommodate lots of different allergies and things. Hot dog night, yes, there were burgers and hot dogs. Like I'm pretty sure they always do like a barbecue night. Oh, there was Thanksgiving Grace. You're right. That was the one and only time we did family style serving where like every table got the food and then we passed it around the table. We didn't love how that worked. So if they do Thanksgiving again, it'll be buffet, just if you've been before and you're wondering. Pizza, I don't remember. My memory is terrible though. I blame it on chemo all the time. So maybe we did pizza, but very like it's not going to be anything super extravagant or fancy. It's buffet camp food. There will be salt and pepper there if you need it, I'm pretty sure, but if you like some extra spice and you want to bring like a little hot sauce or things like that, definitely do that.
I was gonna say, and I remember last year at one point because like I'm an almond milk person for my coffee. Oh, that's kind of funny because they are nut free, and so I was like, now that I'm thinking back about that, I was like, wait a second, but like they do have like dairy alternatives too, but you have to ask behind the counter. I mean, and I'm not like it's not an allergy thing; it's just like a preference thing. But I just thought that was pretty cool. But now that I'm thinking back about that, I'm like, why do they have almond milk whenever that's their nut free campus? Whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point, Tara. Sure. I can't
It's
answer
good for people to know, though. You know what I mean? Especially if you are like somebody that tries to stay on like the dairy-free side. So
yeah.
Well, thank you.
Cam, that is such a perfect way to put it. It's nothing to write home about food, but you will be fed. You will not leave feeling like you didn't eat. So that's a great way to put it. I appreciate that. That's so funny, Mara. Oh, Does that answer your question? Does anyone else have any other questions about food while we're talking about food, I guess? Okay, good question. Sorry, someone just came off mute. 1 second. So no, it just cannot contain actual nuts. If it's made in a facility that produces nuts, that's fine. Because I think that's mostly everything. I mean, a lot of things. Did somebody come off mute that
I did. I had a quick question.
Yes.
As one of the I have food allergy people, how does that work? Like, is it, I've been to somewhere like they list the ingredients on the food, or others like you have to go talk to somebody about it?
Kayla, do you want to take this just since you also have a food?
Yes, as much as I can remember, because I also feel like I'm struggling. But so I have celiac, so
So don't I.
okay. So I would go to when you walk in, there's always the long table that has the buffet style food on it. And then to the right-hand side, there's the kitchen window. And I would go to the window and say, hi, I have celiac. What are my options? And they would either tell you what you can eat on the buffet line, or they have a separate plate for you with all of the food that you can eat. Like, I think if there was cornbread one night, they had gluten-free cornbread. Like, the one thing I loved about the camp was that it wasn't that you were just given some sad option of food. It was always something that was comparable to what was being eaten by everybody else. Like, if they had mac and cheese, we had gluten-free mac and cheese. If they had cookies, we had gluten-free cookies. So you just go to the counter and ask them. So the vegan meals were back there too. The vegetarian meals were at the counter, but they were wonderful. So if you have questions about anything, just go to the counter in the kitchen and double check or ask.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, the staff, you'll see the YMCA staff is wonderful. And they would definitely be open to helping you out or answering any ingredient questions or anything like that, or how it was cooked and prepared. So we've been impressed with their ability to accommodate as many accommodations as we've had in the 3 years. So any other questions? Oh, good question. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. My youngest brother is coming this year, and he loves his loopholes. So I'm going to ask his question and a follow-up that he has. He wants to know if he can bring a pan and cook using the campfire, or if he can roast hot dogs instead of marshmallows over the campfire.
I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay.
That might be a question that maybe we'll shoot a quick email to the YMCA staff. I'm gonna make note.
Okay.
Just to make sure they don't have like some rule that we're not aware of.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're roasting marshmallows anyway, I don't see why that would be a problem.
Okay. The pan and the hot dogs?
Yeah, let me ask.
Okay, cool. I think hot dog night over the fire would be pretty awesome, Kimber.
I love it. Yeah, I'll ask Cam and I'll get back to you, okay?
Awesome, thank you.
Mercedes. Yes, I would. Oh, Rachel already answered it. Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. Sorry. Just catching up here. Parking, yes. Plenty of room for parking. Lots of love for the hot dogs. I love it. Any other questions? It doesn't even have to be food related. Let's just open it up to any questions that are on your mind.
Is there Wi-Fi at the camp?
Yes, there is. Yes, definitely in the big Kramer Hall is what it's called. Sorry, words, where our food is. And then the cabins, I say the cabins do too. Staff, no Wi-Fi.
I feel like because I had classes last year, and I feel like I had to go up to the main campus Or what, like Kramer? Yeah, I'm like 90% sure, but I could be wrong because I'm gonna run into that same issue this year too.
No, I think you're right. Rachel confirmed in the chat. Oh, Kimber. Yeah. They did not tell us that you cannot.
I would definitely recommend so too. I know, like if you like the first year when I was doing photography, and I was like, oh, I need to plug my batteries in, so it definitely would come in handy.
I agree with that. In some of the rooms, there are outlets in all of the rooms, but the number of outlets do not match the number of bunk beds, which I think in some of the rooms was a little frustrating. So if you want to bring a surge strip, I don't see a problem with that. I think that's fine. Or even an extension cord of some kind if you don't have a surge strip. And yes, I had service as well. I think that's why I paused before saying, do the cabins have Wi-Fi? Because like I had no problem calling my kids to say goodnight from my cabin, but it'll be a little spotty. We are in the middle of the woods, but you still get service.
I have kind of a perhaps silly question.
No silly
In
question.
the evening hours, if we are going from like the dining hall back to our cabin or like part of the campground, would we need a flashlight or are there lampposts or like is it like Narnia or I don't know.
Not a silly question. And my older son is reading that book right now. So I love that you just mentioned that. We recommend, so it does get very, very dark, I would say like campfire time and on. There are lampposts, but they're very sparse. I don't know how to pronounce that word. So yeah, if you would like to have a flashlight, definitely bring one. I know people brought them in past years. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
So I take that's like a maybe.
I would bring one. I mean, I have never personally brought one and I've been fine.
Okay.
But if you're someone who feels like
Didn't
Yeah.
we have them available like in the camps too? I remember hanging on little mini flashlights on the doors. Are we bringing those again?
had many ones. Right?
We had some last year. We do not have them all this year. We did not get them all back. So we can bring the little ones back again. I don't know how well they worked, the small ones, compared to just like your cell phone.
Sweet.
But we will be bringing those little ones back. I just need to see how many we have. Yeah.
I was gonna say
have a-
most.
Oh, Lauren, is
Go
that you?
ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Lauren.
I was gonna say, most phones have a flashlight in, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, that's a great backup for sure. Did someone else come
This
off
is-
mute?
Yeah, this is Maria, Lala. You can call me Maria or Lala, either way. I know it's party time. Are we gonna have a dance activity?
There have been dance parties at Kramer Hall in the past after campfires. I don't know if I think it was not like formally put on by staff. So I think you all can take that upon yourselves. I think Yami is being called out as the resident DJ and dance party extraordinaire. So I'm gonna leave that at that. Can I connect my phone to audio at the dining hall? Oh, that's a good question. I feel like we have in the past. How did people do that in the past years? Lindsay, do you remember? They do have a big speaker in the dining hall. I just don't recall if we're able to.
Yeah, I think that their staff had to connect it.
Okay.
in order for us to use like the overhead speakers.
So I would maybe recommend a little Bluetooth speaker if you have one
Mhm.
that's important to you. Because the YMCA staff will not be available in the evenings.
Mhm.
Oh, general temperature, such a good question. So we have looked out the past 2 years with weather. But I will say it does get chilly at night. So I am someone that actually I kind of layer up more for the mosquitoes because they love me. So I always bring like long pants and a sweatshirt to wear for the campfire and evenings. But yeah, I would recommend it, but it's been hot during the day. So it's definitely, you got to kind of pack and wear layers and bring layers for sure.
Well, will there be like a curfew? Everyone has to be in the cabin for, certain time, or can we walk around at night?
You definitely can walk around at night. No, there's no like set curfew. I think the general rule is to be respectful of your cabin mates. I think staff is going to kind of do rounds at the very end of the evening before we all turn in for the night, just to make sure everyone's okay and everything's going fine. But I think the general consensus is if you are hanging out and playing games and laughing and being loud and wanting to stay up, if you're more of a night owl, Kramer Hall is open as late as you want. So to respect your cabin mates, instead of being in the cabin, like the common area of your cabin, that would probably be a better choice. And you can absolutely hang there and whatever. So that's kind of the general consensus. But again, there's no like, you must be in bed by this time. We're all adults, but in that same breath, we're all adults. So let's be respectful of those around us as well.
You know how someone was talking about the waiver? If how do you know if you saw like I'm pretty sure I signed mine and turned it and like clicked to have it turn it in, but how do you know if they didn't get it?
I think that if you go, when I resend the link, Lauren, if you click to fill it out, I think it'll tell you that you've already
Oh,
filled it out.
okay.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, it takes like 2 seconds to fill it out. So you can always just fill it out again, but I'm almost certain that it'll tell you that you already did it.
Okay.
There was a question earlier about sorry, I just saw how many mosquitoes in caps from Kimber. There was a question about tea and bringing your own tea. So there's a kitchen, a very small kitchen in each of the cabins, but I don't think they have stovetop. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Maybe Cochrane does. Maybe they both do. But tea, honestly, I think it's probably easier and best. There is tea always available in Kramer Hall. There will always be the mugs and the tea and all the things. So again, if there are like other accessories that you would like or need for your tea, feel free to bring those yourselves, honey, a special mug you want to use, a specific kind of tea that you like. But yeah, it will always be available in Kramer Hall. The waiver. Yes, I will send the waiver back out. It's just from the YMCA camp itself. They need you to sign like a safety waiver since it is their facilities that we are using.
Lisa, I was gonna mention too, because I bought them last year, I'm working on trying to get yoga mats. Do you, but because, and I know Stephanie knows about this, because some of the ones that I bought last year had gotten damaged by my flooding. So if I end up getting more, I was gonna reach out to you guys to let you know. I'm waiting on a grant to get them replaced. But do you think people, like, are they gonna need them this year, I guess? Because I was, do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, totally. So we are going to need them. I know we do have a number of them from Angie Gallerackis, Mama G, who will be running the meditation. But
That's fixed right
definitely
now.
communicate with Stephanie, because if you're able to bring some, I think that would be helpful, but if not, please don't worry.
Yeah, the grant's supposed to be coming in a couple weeks, and so I'm just kind of like waiting for that to be able to purchase them. So as soon as I know something, I'll let you guys know.
Thanks, Tara. Appreciate it.
And do you guys have a preliminary schedule of the activities by chance, like when each thing is going to happen in the day?
That is something that we're working on currently. What I guess I should have mentioned, if you haven't been before, you wouldn't know this, but when you check in, you will receive a program, and in that program will be the schedule and any other information you might need. We're still finalizing some things, so we're not able to share what we have right now with you at this time. But know that there will be multiple sessions of almost everything. So like if archery is at the same time as something else you want to go to, there's another archery in the afternoon, so you can prioritize that other thing. And we are always very mindful about making sure there are both physical and non-physical options during a time. So yeah, I think you'll be able to do all of the things that you're excited to do. But yeah, the schedule will be in that program. Trying to see if I've missed any other questions in the chat. Earplugs, that's a good, yeah. Did I put that on the optional for the packing list? I can't remember, but might be a good thing because you are going to be sleeping in a room potentially with a handful of other people that you're just meeting, and some people snore, and that's okay. So if that is something that you feel is something you want to bring, go for it. Let's see. Oh, interesting question. Yeah, thank you, Rachel, for answering about the river swimming. The pool, I feel like I can probably share this, hopefully. If the weather has been anything like it has been for the past few years, which we're all hoping it's just as beautiful, we will be having swimming on both days this year, which is huge. We put it in the schedule for both, I should say, because last year we ended up only having it on the schedule for one, and it was such a hit that we opened it up for the second day as well. So pool is going to be the best place to swim for sure. Any other questions? Ooh, good question, Amber. Yes, there are some, but definitely bring any if there are ones that you think would be really fun to play with everybody. Yeah, I'm fairly certain both of the like common areas have some options, but again, we haven't been there since last August, so I don't know what kind of shape they're in. I don't know if they're even all still there. So I would say bring a game, bring cards, something that you think would be fun to play with your new and old friends would be a great idea. That's right, Rachel. There are also games in Kramer Hall. Yes, absolutely. I don't see why not. Yeah. If there's, I feel like there have always been people that are new to different of these activities, and the YMCA staff has been so wonderful in taking the time to help people who are new to something learn how to do it, or yeah, and they definitely have life jackets too, which is a great thing. Thanks, Grace. Pool floats. There were definitely noodles, like pool noodles, because they were utilized in the aquatic class, I want to say, but I don't know about floats. Anyone else, if you remember, let me know, but Tara, you brought your kickboard. Awesome.
Yeah, I can't swim very well. Like I'm still learning, so I was just kind of practicing my stuff in the pool last year.
The pool is a cool shape. It's really big. And there's a good amount that's shallow end too.
Okay.
I don't remember if they had pole floats. We can always email the camp and ask if we're allowed to bring them in case they have any sort of rules on that.
Anything else? Oh yeah, there is a water slide at the pool. Grace, good call. We're so excited, everybody. Like I said, I think we've said it a few times, there will be another kind of final reminders email coming out. And if anything comes up that you think, if you even question if staff should maybe be aware of, I recommend just letting us know. I think over communication is better than lack of communication. That's my motto. So definitely reach out to any one of us, and we will get you situated. Anything else? Are we good? Who's excited? Whoop, whoop. All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. So nice seeing you all, and we'll see you in 13 days. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all. See you soon.
Thank you. See you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.